All train compartments smell vaguely of shit.
A champion from the West. A legend of the East. A competition that went too far.
There has been too much violence, too much pain.
Now, to survive, you must destroy. For honor.
Let us gingerly touch our tips.
For love.
It will be nice. I think you will love it.
For justice.
The law's on my side.
The power of a warrior.
JB.
The heart of a champion.
Thunder.
He likes the way I talk, and I like the way he talks.
This is Stack of Dimes. Stack of Dimes. Stack of Dimes.
Stack of Dimes. We are the podcast that's 14 years old, and in podcast years, that's like probably our 50s, and we're trying to podcast like we're 1 or 2 years old, like we're the hip podcast. But every time we do it, we just end up hurting ourselves or straining our back. Maybe breaking something, falling flat on our face, because we're not the young podcast, we're the old podcast. We just do the same thing over and over and over again, and you love it. Yes.
I don't know, I think people are really enjoying our TikTok channel or whatever you call it, and our Instagrams. I think
you got to be on all that, bro.
People
you got to be
love
on
it.
all that. You got to omni-channel that shit, bro. You got to be on it all.
So
I'm posting. I've got my OnlyFans. I got my TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm posting 247, bro. You got to create that content.
We're up on, I don't know. What is, Rumble? We got the Rumble too for all you people.
Is that a thing?
I think it's a Republican deal.
Oh, I didn't know.
We cover all of our bases.
I was like, oh shit, you just told me about a thing.
Rumble and Truth Social.
That's like Truth Social. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
We're on all of it.
We got to truth.
Love it all.
I truthed something today. I truthed a bunch of things. I'm on X. I'm Xing things.
You can get a cameo from Thunder or JD.
Hey, this is JD and Thunder.
We accept crypto.
Your buddies there at Jansport said you'd really like kumites. I hope I get a kumite this for your birthday.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing it all. I still feel young. What do you know? Oh, boy.
It's a young man's game.
It is a young man's game.
It's like
it's not.
Quentin Tarantino, basically, like what he says, like filmmakers should stop once they hit like their 50s or something like that. Yeah, we should have stopped years ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, but this podcast thing is an every human being's game. I don't know if you've noticed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely not a young man's game. Just
I was on this is probably dangerous territory. I was on like
dark territory?
It could be dark territory too with Eric Bogdanosian or whatever his name is. It was on this one of these like all hands everything call, like everybody has to join this call or whatever.
Like at work.
Listen to.
You're talking about
work? Exactly. I won't say who it was. Like it could, but at the end of it, I was like, in my head, I was like, everybody just wants a podcast, because there wasn't a lot of information in that call, but it just kind of came off as like a podcast. Like, here's some ramblings.
Like you were making everybody, like making yourselves laugh, or just talking or sharing story. Like,
no,
what
just sharing stuff. Yeah, just like, here's some stuff I learned. Just, I'm not saying who held the call or what company it was.
Okay.
Because I deal with a lot of clients.
Sure.
It was just an interesting call. It just made me laugh. It was like every dude just wants a podcast. They just want a captive audience. Just listen to me. Someone listen to my words. Someone capture this and appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, it's lonely out there being a white dude. Old 40, a white dude in his 40s. We just want to be heard. Nobody cares about us.
Nope. We never get to say anything.
Nope.
No.
We're never heard.
No.
We don't have any say in anything.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
All right, this is the last episode. This is over. It's finally over. You've done it. You've killed it.
That's how
okay, let's talk. Okay, let's just get into this. Look, we've been gone. Yeah, yada, yada, yada. Life gets in the way. I was
on the injured reserve. Like that. I don't know if you guys posted that.
I didn't post shit.
I was out.
No.
Should I get into this?
No, we just
Should
take a diarrhea shit on you whenever you're not available. That's it. That's
okay, great.
No matter if
Should
it's
we-
health reasons, no matter if it's get right into it.
We'll get right into this. So
right into
we are at October 5th, I believe, is what today is, and I think I know what day I'm going to rewind back to middle of August. I think it was probably somewhere around August 15th. I think we talked about this once on the podcast before. I had rescued this one wheel, which the one wheel, if you're not familiar with it, is like a skateboard, but with like a big go-kart tire in the middle, but you ride it like a skateboard. It's not the other unicycle thing, which I don't know the name of that. But those things
the guys
are nuts.
that are dressed up like the dude from Street Hawk, and they're doing like 50 down Mercer. I just saw one.
Yeah, those things are insanely fast, and guys are like in full leathers and full face helmet and all that, and they're just flying around traffic on them. They're terrifying.
Let me let you in on a little secret, and this maybe shows everyone how horrible of a person I am. I cannot wait to see one of those dudes eat shit. They are complete dickheads. I've seen like 5 of them in their little what are those things called? What are they? I don't even know what they are. E-cycle. I don't know. Unidouchers?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I've seen they're dressed up like they're in a fucking Road Warrior, and they're
I think you have to, because if you eat it on one of those, you're donezoed, right?
What are the laws on that? Because I've literally had them behind me, 5 of them, like doing slaloms back and forth, riding my ass in the middle of the road in like a 3-lane on Mercer, and I'm like, why are you allowed to ride
that? Is straight out of that. You had the toe cutter behind you.
The Night Rider.
Mad Max. The Night Rider and the toe cutter behind you, Mad Max style, man.
No,
that's terrifying.
I should have slammed on my brakes.
Did they box you in? They boxed you in?
Yeah. Slam on my brakes and let them fly
You're
over
like,
the saw.
Shit, I'm boxed in. I'm boxed in here.
Anyhow, those assholes. Not the same thing those assholes are doing.
Not one of those.
Right.
No, I'm on the one wheel. It's more like an electric longboard. I enjoyed it because it was very much like snowboarding, and it's kind of all terrain, and we'll get into that because maybe it's not. And but you can just kind of cruise around and slowly just sort of quote unquote carve, just kind of do big S turns around trails and stuff, and I would take it, eat shit. So we're over in the eastern Washington, at a campground with camping with my wife's side of the family, her cousins and brother and mom and stuff are there, and it's a state park kind of campground. It's not like we're camping out in the woods,
right?
It's
nowhere.
So it's like a state park.
Shit.
Yeah, not a KOA, but it's run by the state. But
that's what I mean. It's a very curated campground.
Yeah, literally you're camping, quote unquote camping, 2 feet away from some other stranger,
and
who's also you know what I mean. It's just everybody backs up their cars, and where we're at here is Lake Roosevelt, so everybody backs up their cars and their boat trailers and stuff, and everybody you're staying at the campground, but most people are just using the lake during the day. So that's what we do. We're at this campground, and then 100 yards from where the campground was down at the beach, and we'd kind of in the day we'd set up down at the beach at a picnic table and have our food and kind of base camp. And then my wife's brother's got a ski boat. Real nice. Wow. Puts up a big wake. But he got that, so he would kind of and he'll just beach it because the water, the depth and stuff, he can just kind of beach it right there. So they'll come in and, kids will get on and off or grab food and they go back out. That's just basically the day there. I just described 3 or 4 days there.
Sounds magical.
And, yeah, it's great. It's fine. Other than sleeping in a tent, and it was hot as blazes when we were there because it was mid-August in Eastern Washington. It was just brutal. So there's a little trail between the campground and the beach, where we're set up on the beach. And I brought my one wheel, and there was a couple different ways down to the beach, and one of them's this dirt path. So the dirt path was kind of the most fun because the one wheel could kind of go off road. Some people were really good at them off road. I just sort of dink around on it. But the dirt trail was kind of fun because a little bit technical and you had to kind of go around stuff. And then, so anytime we're hey, we go grab drinks or go grab a floaty or go grab, go make lunch or whatever like that. I was I'll do it. And I just ride the one wheel up the trail and go do the thing and ride back down and carry stuff is just kind of a way to do it. And normally when I ride the thing, I'm like usually paranoid about safety because I'm like, if I'm going to go out, I'm wearing my wrist guards and my helmet. And
that's because you're on pavement, right? Like
yeah, because I'm on pavement and I'm usually going faster. Like going up this little trail, I'm literally going like less than like 2 or 3 miles an hour. Like you can walk faster than I'm going. I'm just kind of like dinking along. And so I've been doing that. And I just like hop onto my shoes and wearing my hat or whatever. I wasn't wearing any safety equipment, which is in hindsight not a great idea. But I was like, I'm going 100 yards. I can see where I'm going and I'm going really slow. And so I wasn't like overly concerned about it. And I did go on some rides when we were over there, like where I was like, I'm going to go cruise around the campground. I put on all my shit, like my wrist guards and all that stuff, and I like cruised around the roads and campground and stuff and came back. So if I was going to actually go to like, it was like in my mind, it was like, well, if I'm officially going to ride it, I'm going to wear safety stuff. But if I'm just dinking around, it's fine, right? And lo and behold, so I've been doing this dirt trail, and then like one of the mornings was like a Tuesday morning, and I didn't quite make this connection in my head, but they've like been running the sprinklers all morning. It was like their day of the week to like run the sprinklers, and then it became lunchtime, and I was like, well, I'm going to make the girls lunch. I'll go back up to the campground, make them lunch, and bring it down. And I hop on the one wheel, and I'm going on this little dirt trail. And it's that type of like dirt mud that's like crazy hard pack. And when it gets wet, it just creates like a layer of like, have you ever walked on like river clay that's wet?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it's like super hard, but it's also like the slickest thing you've ever stepped on. And so the one wheel hits that and just like shoots out from under my feet. And I just go like, you know, flying basically back towards like I'm going to land on my butt, but I like caught myself with my right hand, which I probably should have just landed on my butt, although who knows what I broke then.
Tailbone or some shit.
Yeah, the first thing I thought was like, man, I really just jammed my wrist. And I looked at my wrist and I was like, oh yeah, that's not jammed. It was like, it looked like basically like, if you took like a tall boy can and you crushed it with your foot or something, you know what I mean? Like compressed, like accordion down. That's like how my wrist looked.
You had a spiral fracture like Dennis the Terminator or Alexio.
Yeah, I don't know if I did have a spiral. I had some sort of radial something fracture.
Smart ass.
So I was like, hey, Amanda, my wife is there. I was like, can you come here for a minute? Like, I'm trying not to freak out the kids. And she's like, she immediately knew something was like laying in the grass, right? Hey, can you come over here? And she comes over and I was like, luckily, so she comes over, she starts helping me. Luckily, the people we're camping with, like 2 of Amanda's cousins, or I don't know, niece, cousin, whatever. 2 of the women on her side of the family are both nurses. One of them's an ER nurse. So she's like, she immediately like gets a stick and gets like a rash guard that somebody's wearing that like makes a splint for me and like ties me up. And it's like she's figuring out like where the closest ER was, which was only like.
So I've never, as a person who's never broken a bone ever that I know of, how do you know? Like, how did you know immediately? Like, what you say it looked like a can, but like, what are we talking here? Your wrist, just
I mean, like where your arm meets your wrist was just like compressed and weird looking.
Okay,
right. The bone wasn't sticking out of the skin or anything.
It wasn't like Bloodsport when.
No, I mean it looked like an accordion that had been like like imagine this compressed, but it was definitely misshapen. Right, it was not the right shape. It clearly looked broken.
How was the pain?
When I said I've fallen on my wrist before, like snowboarding, and I've jammed it, and so I kind of knew. Like when I landed, I was like, "Shit, I jammed my wrist pretty bad." Like that was my first thought. Like, "Oh, I've done this before." But then when I looked at it, and I was like, "Oh, that is not jammed at all. Like that is like clearly like." Take your normal wrist radius and like double it. Like that's kind of how it looked. It just looked like fat and bloated or something because everything had just basically like jammed together.
Got it.
So she knew to kind of tie a splint. She's like, yeah, this is broken. And the trick, like sort of tie it around a stick and then like strap my arm to my body so I can't really move it, kind of immobilize it. You'll appreciate this because you know me. As she's doing this, I was like, hey, yeah, I'm going to pass out.
Oh,
like, this is like, I'm like, just give me a minute here. She's like, okay. And I just like laid down and I came back and they were working. I was like, okay, I'm better now. And she's like, oh yeah, the pain and adrenaline that happens all the time. Like you basically Like, I was like, oh yeah, I could feel it coming. Like, I knew. And that's even when I yelled out for my wife. I was like, yeah, I better get her over here before I pass out, because I can feel that coming.
And that was because of the pain or just the shock of the situation?
I think
it's
everything,
actual,
yeah.
Like, what is the pain like? Give me details here. I want to hear this.
Boy. At that point, probably still, I mean, it hurt. It was like, yeah, it was pretty sharp. I mean, the pain was pretty intense.
Okay. Because your whole move back in the day was you always had a shoulder that popped out.
Yeah, that was like sort of a sudden shock thing. This
the
was
only
definitely...
reason I would ever know that you're passed out is because you'd be talking or something, then you'd stop and I'd look and you go, you start making these weird noises.
That was the dislocate my shoulder days. I haven't had any shoulder problems in a really long time. I come back, put a pin in the shoulder thing because I was sure about that.
Sure.
That's related to this. But yeah, I basically, she's like, oh yeah, adrenaline and shock and the pain. And so they get me all wrapped up. It's funny, like, so my brother-in-law comes over, like everybody's kind of checking on me, and he steps on the trail. He goes, whoa, this is really slick. I was like, yeah, dude, I'm fully aware of how slick it is. But luckily the ER was only like 5 or 10 minutes away, so they took me there. The doctor there was like super casual, but actually kind of a cool dude. And he's like, yeah, it's pretty messed up. I don't know if I can do that much for it. You're going to probably need to go, talk to a surgeon.
Oh man.
And he jabbed some I will say that car ride, like, thankfully I was tied up in a splint and that she tried to immobilize it as much as she could, because that car ride, like, to the ER, like, the pain was ridiculous. Like, it was just bouncing around and getting out of a car and stuff. It was like the entire ride there were just my wife and the other woman that was with me. They're like, the conversation was just around like, oh yeah, when I gave birth to my kid, how painful it was. I mean, it was like that. I feel like I probably experienced the most pain I've had in my life in that, like, 20 minutes or something. But when he jabbed it full of lidocaine, it was like, oh, that was magic. It just like makes it all like, lidocaine's the same thing they give you at the dentist, right? So it's just like totally dead and numb. But that only lasts for like 4 hours, and then you wake up later and you're all fucked up again. But yeah, he wrapped it all up, and then we just like the family that was there, like, we were going to stay one more night, but I was like, there's no effing way I'm sleeping in a tent with a broken wrist.
Yeah.
So like they packed everything up, and wife drove home that night, and literally got a consult with a surgeon like almost the next day, and like 5 days later had surgery on my wrist, and then and then promptly went to Disneyland because that was already scheduled. So that was like 4 or 5 days after I had surgery on my wrist from Disneyland. That was something we had planned for like a year. It was like, well, I gotta get through this. And it was, honestly, it was fine. It wasn't too bad. It was like, it would get sore and stuff, but it was nothing like Advil wouldn't take care of. So yeah, that's been my month. But so it was my right wrist. I'm right-handed. And everybody was like, oh man, typing and writing and all that. Nobody ever talks about, like, if you hurt your dominant hand, wiping your ass with your non-dominant hand. I ask every listener to this.
You asked me. I haven't tried it yet.
The next time you use the toilet.
I'm too scared.
The next time you use the toilet and you go to wipe your butt, just try to do it with your whatever the opposite hand you normally use, your non-dominant hand. Literally impossible.
Terrifying.
It's so hard. And so I'm telling this to a coworker last week. I was in Portland, and he's like, oh yeah, I have to have surgery on my shoulder, and it's his right shoulder, and we're talking, and I was like, yeah, dude, wiping your butt's a real, like, nobody talks about it. It's the hardest thing. That and probably like brushing your teeth and putting on deodorant.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Impossible. It's like stuff that you just mindlessly do with your right hand. And he's like, he just laughed. And then over the weekend, he got, like, he does a bunch of motorcycle, like, dirt bike riding. And he's like, I talked to him on Monday. He's like, oh, dude, I got in a dirt bike accident, and it really messed up my shoulder. It was already screwed up. He's like, you weren't joking about that wiping your ass stuff. That shit is hard. It is impossible.
Oh,
you
man.
poop all over your thumb. All over it.
Poopy thumb nonstop.
All over it. You can't. Your accuracy, the accuracy with your non-dominant hand is just ridiculously poor. It's like, I don't even know if I'm near the right bits right now with this paper.
I can't. I mean, I've not attempted it. Like I'm telling you, like, I'd have to really have a whole situation where, Okay, I'm at home.
I was going to say, you'd have to, don't do it at don't
don't
go crazy and try to work or something. But yeah, if you're at home and you got some time on your hands, you're like, well, I'm going to take a shower after this anyways. Give it a shot.
Yeah, I keep forgetting, but yeah.
If you want an easier one, just try brushing your teeth with your left hand.
You just brought that up, and I was just thinking how annoying that would be. It's
like there's some weird sort of you can't get like the angles or the rhythm quite right. I got better at it as I went on, but yeah, it's also a pain in the butt. But like right now, my hand's pretty usable. I'm in physical therapy, and now I'm doing a lot of it's just getting my range of motion back, which is still pretty jacked up.
How long will that be? How long do they think it will take before you're kind of fully...
They won't really. They never. They won't really give you a date. I was talking to a coworker. She broke her wrist. And I was like, "How long did you do PT?" She's like, "Oh, like a year." I was like, "Oh Christ." But I think when she said that, I think she just meant like doing exercises.
Yeah.
Because they give you a bunch of. Have you done PT?
Oh, too many times.
They just give you a bunch of stuff. They just send you home with a bunch of homework, right?
Yep.
I like my physical therapist, but yeah, I think I'll be doing it for a while. But I'm pretty much. I have a checkup with my doctor here next week. But when I ask him, like, hey, do I have to worry about snow skiing or snowboarding this winter and stuff? He's like, no, you'll be fine. So, but he did say surgeons are also really weird. So I'm going on and on about this. I've only dealt with surgeons a few times. Like Amanda had surgery once, and then I went to the surgeon. But their bedside manner, they obviously just like cutting people open and not talking to people. It's the first thing he came in, he's like, "Oh man, you really messed that up." I was like, "Yeah, I know. It's kind of why I'm here." And he goes, "Yeah, I've seen worse, but not a lot." He's like,
wow.
Okay, I'm sorry. What am I supposed to say to this? He's like, yeah, 0 to 10. It's a lot closer to 10, probably a 7 or an 8. I was like, okay. Yeah. It was just like, what am I supposed to do with this information? I was talking to another, dad at soccer who's a doctor. He's like, oh, what'd you do to your wrist? He was all curious, right? He's like, oh, he's like, what kind of break is it? What'd you have done? And I was telling him about
how's your ass wiping going?
Yeah, I was like, I didn't tell him. Hey, can you check something for me? No, I was telling him about my surgeon experience. He's like, oh yeah, those guys are all pretty funny. He's like, I had a surgeon come in, had a patient who had like a torn, ACL or something. And the surgeon came in, he didn't say hello. He didn't introduce himself. The first 3 words, he threw like the x-ray up on the little chart thing. And the first 3 words he said is, well, basically you're hosed. Basically, you're hosed is what he said. Like the first 3 words. It was like, wow.
I've had parents who've had surgeries, and I've talked to the guys who did the surgeries, and they're different. They do seem to be very different. Yes,
I think the whole their day or whatever, when they do the consults or they they're checking in, I think it's probably the worst day of the week for them.
Yeah, right.
Oh God, I got to deal with these goddamn Muppets. And then and I'm just like, I'm such a dummy. I'm like trying to be cool and be a buddy with him. Like, hey man, oh yeah, how's it going? He's like, yeah. More questions or are you done?
Yeah,
I was like,
you're a piece of meat. I'm gonna.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, no, I'm the cool patient. No, you're not. You're a Muppet. Get out of here.
Yeah, most of my shit have been like, I got I had shoulder problems I had to go in for therapy on, hip, back. That's mostly my stuff. And every time I go to the doctor, I always wait, like, oh, this will go away, this will go away, this will go away. It's not going away. And then I go in, and it's always, your range of motion's really good. So whatever you can correct with PT. And I mean, I got to know this specific PT place on North Aurora very well. Like I could, if the same people are working in there, I could pop my head in tomorrow and they'd be like, "Hey, Kevin, how are you?" I'm like really well. Like I almost miss them. That's how well I know them. Sometimes
you're like getting the family Christmas card.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
but those goddamn e-vehicles, man, you got to be like the scooters, the wheelies. I'm already planning like all this extra safety gear I'm going to wear the next time I'm going out. But like, I don't know. I'm like, I know I'm in my mid 40s and I should not pretend I'm 20. And I know I'm like, I saw like the trope last Halloween of like a dude on a one wheel and the costume. You ever see those like costume memes? They're like,
I don't know.
There's like these memes of like costumes, like the generic, all the brands of these, but like the generic kind of costume that like they put like, like the I don't know, douchebag or whatever on it, and it's like a gold chain or whatever.
Yeah.
But I saw one that was like. It was like a one wheel, and I don't know what else they had in there. Like it was very like a hoodie and a backpack and whatever. And the name of the costume was This Fucking Guy. I was like, yeah, I'm still gonna ride it because like I don't know, like I enjoy it, and I don't want to like. It's like getting back on the horse. Like I can't like let this like one accident be like, well, no more fun for me.
Like I'm never going to drive a car again because I got an a fender bender or whatever.
I'm going to stick to books from now on.
Right.
These things are too dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been kind of a wuss when it comes to stuff like that, like skateboarding or dirt biking or even BMX.
Yeah.
Like I've always because it's like. I know I'm going to eat shit at some point, but I'll tell you, apparently not afraid enough to drive those e-scooters around, especially when I've had some cocktails, which is a terrible, terrible idea. But it's like, I'm sticking to these back roads here, these residential roads. I'll be fine. And
those things, man.
Within a couple of weeks of you, I just decided to go into like deeper loose gravel than I thought, and grind my face into it, my shoulder and face into it.
Just ass over tea kettle.
Ass over tea kettle. Wish I could explain to you, like, it happens so quickly, you don't really have, like, oh, I'm on the ground now. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, and I had a black eye and scrapes all the side of my face. Still have scrapes on my chest. I'll tell you, your face heals up really quick, though. Whatever goes on with that thin skin and like there's more bone there or something, like that stuff was like
more blood or something.
I don't know.
Coursing
it's
through your
like,
face or something.
Yeah, still like on my chest, you can still see this. I'm like Bruce Lee. I got like the scratch marks.
3 scratches.
Yeah, but like the black eye lasted longer than anything.
3 scratches and some water warts and some other like moles and skin tags.
Wispy, weird
just like,
gray hair.
Just like Bruce Lee.
Yeah, just like him. Just saggy pancake
Bruce
tits.
Lee having that weird skin hangy thing you have there.
Yep. No,
he had it.
You don't remember?
You couldn't see it because it wasn't HD, but he had it.
You don't remember him having these weird gray wispy hairs growing out of the areolas of his nipples? You don't remember that? Yeah. That are pointed down because they're just fucking opaque flapjacks. That's like...
If you get the Ultra Blu-ray in 4K, you can see it.
You can totally see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, the black eye is the thing that took the most to heal up. And you gotta love, you go into work and it's like there's no hiding it. They're like, what the hell happened to you? It's like... I decided to take one of those e-scooters, and God, I've taken them a few times, like not a lot, And that night was like, I was like it was leaving the establishment that I was in, and I was like, I'm gonna take a little longer route down to my house because it's fun riding those things. It's fun.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
and then then that happened, and but I'll tell you, like I had some of that. Like Neosporin or whatever. That stuff is like you put it on and it turns whatever scab on you, it just melts it off. It just
that stuff is magic.
Off.
That stuff like is out of a Wolverine or T2 or something.
Seriously,
just like self-healing. Yeah, totally.
So I did that with it because you sent me a pic. You sent me and Roden a pic. I forget what you said. Like. You did. You were kind of cryptic. I knew the second I saw the pic, I was like, "Oh, that fucker ate shit on his one wheel." I knew it. Like I knew it. And then you were like, "Yeah." And then what was it? A week and a half later, 2 weeks later, I don't know how. I was like, "Yeah, hey, turns out those e-scooters are as dangerous as those one wheels."
Jesus. I don't know how. Like my sister-in-law went ass over tea kettle on one of those, but landed. What? I've come to learn this is called a foosh, like a fall on outstanding hand or outstretched hand. I think is what it is. And that's like the lingo. Like, so if I talk to a doctor, or if like the doctor guy at soccer, at my kid's soccer, is like, what happened? I was like, oh, I got a foosh. And he's like, okay. But yeah, she did it really bad. Like she and I were like trading text messages after I had my surgery, comparing like X-rays and scars and stuff. But hers was like, yeah, she went ass over tea on one of those scooters, and basically your instinct is to like brace your fall with your hand, right?
Yeah, but mine didn't get there, so I had like my knuckles were all scratched up because you could see I was trying to get them there, but just face planted before I could.
Probably lucky you didn't.
Probably,
yeah, it would have been in my club. Yeah, I got a pretty decent, 3.5-inch scar on my wrist and stuff now. So,
and you are Dennis the Terminator Alexio, the kickboxer. You got some steel in there now, right?
Oh yeah, there's titanium. I have like a little titanium plate and like 12 screws in my wrist.
Will they take it out? Ever?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you're the Terminator.
Unless it bothered me, like if it was rubbing on something, then they would. But like, I don't think I can't feel it under the.
Well, look, I mean, he fought Dennis Mad Dog Downey right after that, and he just put that shin right into his fucking head, and so you could, you know.
The crazy thing is that guy that Smith and Jigbe, I think, is that his name, the wide receiver, the rookie wide receiver on the Seahawks? He broke his wrist around the same time I did, and he was playing like 2 or 3 weeks later. And if you watch him play, it's his left wrist, and it's all like, it's wrapped up in games.
Yeah.
But he's like, the dude he's had quite a few receptions, and he's been like, I was like, watching that, like, I heard him announce it, like, I was watching one of the games, and I told my kids, and they're like, what? That's crazy. And I was like, I mean, obviously there's different severity of breaks, but I was like, still, that's nuts. Like, he was playing like 3 weeks after he broke his wrist or something like that. Yeah.
He's got more incentive than you do.
Yeah, he's got millions of dollars of incentive and like teams of surgeons and constant physical therapy and whatever. But like, still, there's something that's like,
it's not. That's
knows
crazy.
How bad his break was. Yeah,
yeah.
But I think they did say he had surgery too, which is like still pretty nuts, man. Those guys like they probably just jam it full of lidocaine in every game or something.
Probably.
That lidocaine, that was magical. That was pretty good.
I think I was a little too cocky because we do have me and Anita have e-bikes, and so we take those out, and I got a helmet and all that shit. But
those things are fast as F too.
Yeah, but I think I'm a little cocky on one of those e-scooters. I was like, this is a little scooter deal. It's like, no, wait, probably easily worse. I mean, what are we talking about?
Oh
here? Like I saw, where my work is now, like. Very hilly. I saw a young couple sharing one of those things and just fucking firing down a hill with her on the back holding around his waist. And I was just thinking, holy shit, you guys are crazy.
My sister-in-law who went in, I think it happened on like a Friday she was coming home from some like a concert or something like that. But she was saying like the ER was saying like, they're like, Friday and Saturday nights, we're just full of these, like everybody in here is like, and it's a lot of drunk people. So they don't,
I'm sure it is
like yourself. They don't have the reflexes to get their hands in front of their face. So a lot of them their faces are just like, teeth gone, missing, just totally just beat to hell. But they're like, that's just Friday, Saturday night in the ER now. It's just drunk people eating it on e-scooters.
Good Lord.
Yeah. I will say that you said the thing about work that I have eaten so much shit from coworkers about like, it's basically, you just sort of succumb to it anymore. Like, yep. Yeah, I'm an idiot. And like over the weekend, like One Wheel did a recall on some of their boards and stuff to like add some safety features, like more audible noises and stuff if you're pushing the limits of your board too much. Literally everybody I work with, they're like, "Hey, did you see this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did." And just affirms I'm an idiot. Thank you. It's like, it's just like, everybody just wants to like, why are you trying to be 20 again? I'm like, yes, you're right. You're right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
May I have another?
Right.
Yeah. So I'm sure you probably got it with your face too. You're like,
Well, I had to come in. I had to come in late. We were off air one night. I came in and it was like I was here till like 3 a.m. or something, right? So the next day I came in late. I was trying to think, and I was going to the Mariners game the next day. So I just was like, fuck it. I slept as late as I could. before I had to be into work, and then just came in wearing a Mariners baseball hat. And one of my coworkers comes around and he goes, "Oh, what'd you do? Eat shit on a scooter again?" Because I just looked just disheveled or whatever. And I was like, "No, asshole. I was here last night until like 3 because we were off air." He was like, "Oh, like fucking asshole." And he just bought a brand new truck, not brand new, but like new to him. And like after a week of owning it, he had to take it to the shop already. So he was like. He's like, "Yeah, would you wipe out on a scooter again?" I was like, "Yeah, no, I didn't, asshole. I was here late last night. How's that truck going?" And then like the other coworkers are like, "Is your truck already in the shop?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't want to talk about it." I was like, "Got you, motherfucker. I got you. You got me, but I got you." Yeah. Oh man, what a bunch of assholes.
Right. One of the better things is like, what a coworker told me was, sometimes I'll just shorthand, be like, I ate it on a skateboard, because people are like, "A one wheel? What's that?" It's like,
that?
You ever have these things where you just like, when you have to have the same conversation over and over again?
It's the worst.
It just gets so old. Like, "Hey, how's that wrist holding up?" And you're like, "Yeah, it's still there. It's still broken." Like, I just sort of get like, so people are like, "What happened?" Like, "I ate it on a skateboard." And like, because it's just easier to like, it's shorthand, and I don't have to go into like, I was on a one wheel. What's a one wheel? Is that
like
the thing that's like a unicycle?
Yes.
No, it's the damn it. It's the one that's like,
it's close. It's more of a skate. Yeah.
So I was like, "Yeah, you know, a skateboard." He's like, he's like, "The only person over 40 that should be on a skateboard is Tony Hawk." And I was like, "That's pretty good. That's pretty good advice."
Yeah.
Probably take that for a one wheel or an e-scooter as well.
Yeah. It's funny. So one of my coworkers at a raffle won the trident that the Mariners have. You know, when they get a home run. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, it's basically what it is from that fucking Aquaman movie. Yeah, it's a replica of his trident, and so he went to this auction thing that we kind of had. We kind of had this thing with a company that has ties to the Mariners, and so they're auctioning off a bunch of Mariners stuff. And one of the things is he bought a raffle ticket and he won this fucking trident. And the thing's hefty. It's like, you know, movie quality replica is what it's the one that they have, and it's really heavy. It's like all metal. I'm staring at it right now. It's sitting here in the studio. So he won this thing, and he's like, "I want to hang it somewhere in the studio or around here." He goes, "I don't want to take it home. My wife does. There's no way I can take this home."
Right.
But I had to tell him, I was like, Can you put that thing somewhere else? Because people are coming by like, "Whoa, what's this? Who got that?" And it's like, here we go. He won it at a raffle. What's the significance of it? Well, do you watch the Mariners? Well, a little bit. And it's like every person that walks by, I was like, go hide that in the studio or something. We can't.
I'm tired of talking about it.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
This thing's heavy. Yeah, yes it is. Yes it is. Real metal. Yeah, I was like, oh my God. Yeah, that stuff drives me nuts.
Yeah. Every time I'm in the office, I go to like fill up my cup of coffee or grab a water. "Hey, how's the wrist?" to like somebody else. I'm like, "Fuck. Yeah, it's still broken." Yeah. It's like I just try to come up with like the one dumb like half joke line that I just keep repeating. The e-scooter thing is funny. I think on that text thread with like when you ate it, it was like Luke Burbank, name dropping. Do you know him from TBTL?
Yeah, a good friend of the show, Luke Burbank.
Yeah. I think the weekend before I broke my wrist, I was in Portland to see a concert, that Explosions in the Sky. And after the show, Luke's like, "Oh, I know this karaoke kind of dive bar. It's on the other side of town. We'll grab some scooters." And like, I don't know, you know, at the concert, you've been having like some tall boys and stuff. Sure. And then he said, you know, the scooters they had there, they had a little thing you can like strap your phone in and follow directions.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like taking us this weird way. And then by the time we got there, he's like, "Oh shit, I was using Waze the whole time. And it was directing me as if I was like a car going through traffic and not going like on the sidewalk like a scooter." I was like, "Well, that's a little terrifying. Maybe we just used Uber from now on." And we did. But yeah, thinking back on that and then your story, I was like, "Oh Christ." Yeah. Things could have been a lot worse.
Well, since we are talking about modes of transportation, I do have a little bit of a story that's kind of here nor there that happened yesterday. So, I mean, do you have more? Are we good? Can we?
Do you have more?
I don't know.
No, do you want me to stop talking?
No, not at all. I
I
was like, I just don't want to be interrupting your shit.
No, that was just the story of just like, be careful what navigation you use, because you're on a scooter and Waze is having you like, merge onto the freeway or something.
Right. Jesus Christ. So I'm leaving my house, going to work yesterday, driving the Corolla, and I get to the end of my road and I'm hanging a right and I look left, and as I look left, I see a tow truck, and it's got a car like up on it, and I was like, is that my fucking car? So then I like drive down, pull up beside. Sure enough, the old Saab is up on a tow truck with the alarm going weep, weep, weep. And I was like, yeah, that's my car. And the tow truck driver's like, oh, this is your car? I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, you got a ticket. You're getting towed. I'm like, okay. And so
where okay, you'll get there. I'm what a tease. I'm ready for this story.
Yeah, so you know how we've got one garage, like a one-car garage, and then we just park on the street. And it's very neighborhoody in my neighborhood. There isn't like it's not like you're parking up on a curb. Half the stuff is just parking.
And people are parked all over. Like every nook and cranny is parked in.
Yeah,
in your neighborhood.
And it's like in front of houses, and it's like it'll just be like gravel right there in front of their house, but it's obviously not part of their front yard, so it's all crap like that.
It all seems like fair game.
It has always been fair game as far as I know. There are no signs saying it. I know that there's a certain amount of hours that you're not supposed to leave like your car sitting there for 3 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever in the same spot. You're supposed to move it, and it was not. It had been in that spot for 3 days, 4 days. I can't remember, because Anita took it somewhere and then parked it where she parked it. And again, like you said,
the wife. I see how you're doing it.
Well, I thought it was me at first, because, and then she reminded me. She's like, "No, I actually parked there." And I said I was going to go move it because it wasn't the best spot that she was parked at, and she works from home, so oftentimes if it's like, oh, I had to park 2 blocks away or a little ways away during the day, all the stuff opens up in front of our house, and so she'll like go for a walk and then pull it up closer to the house or whatever. So, but this had been like maybe 3 days, 4 days, I can't remember. But so I'm like, okay. The guy's like, yeah, you got a ticket, and I'm like, all right, so what do I do here? He was like, well, $260, and I'll drop it right now. Like I'll take it off and you can go park it or whatever. And I was like, $260. I go, okay, how much is it going to cost me if you take it to the yard? Just out of curiosity. He's like $400.
Jesus.
I'm like, okay, all right.
He's got you over a barrel. Yeah, I'm like, essentially.
I'm just going to stand here and watch you tow the car away. So I'm like, okay. And he goes, do you have cash? And I was like, no, I don't have $260. I'm like, well, is it cheaper if I have cash? He's like, no. But I'm like, no, I don't have $260 cash on me right now. I'm just so livid, right? But like,
yeah, who nobody carries like, well, I don't know. Were we in the 80s? Nobody carries $260 cash
unless
anymore.
You're going to.
I don't even carry a dollar.
I mean, fuck. I mean, so, and I'm mad because of the situation. It's not really this guy's fault. He doesn't run the company. He didn't ticket me. But
somebody called him to like, hey, this thing's out here. You got to tow it. Like, he's doing his job. Yeah. Essentially. Yeah.
So I'm like, I give him a credit card, and I'm trying to call Anita because I don't have the keys to this car, and he's going to drop it. Like, it's like where it's at is where he's going to drop it. So it's like
in the middle of the street.
It's not in the middle of the street, but kind of in the middle of the street, And I'm like, but Anita's on a meeting. She's not answering her phone. And it's, I'm just literally down the street. Like, I can basically almost see my house where I'm at. Oh, like, okay. He's like, yeah, your card's not working. I'm like thinking, like, is this a scam? Like, is it not working because the card I'm using thinks it's a scam?
How much money you got? Well, no, I'm asking how much it is, and I'm asking how much you got.
Yeah. Seriously. So I go like, there's no way this card is, and I go run it again, and he's like on the phone with whatever company it is, and I know I could say what towing company it is. It's like everyone knows it. Like City has a contract with them, or whatever. But But he's just basically reading the numbers off to someone on the phone, and then the person on the phone's like, yeah, that didn't go through. It's being declined. And I was like, I'm telling you, it works. I know it does. Try it again. No, still declined. I'm like, all right, here's this other credit card. So they run that. Yep, that one worked. Okay. All right, cool. Thank you. And drops it, whatever. So gives me all the paperwork. And I was like, so let me get this straight. I got a ticket. He's like, yeah, your ticket's right here in this paperwork. That's why I went and towed your car. I was like, okay. Off he goes. I go and grab the keys or whatever. And at this point, Anita's like, what's going on? I go, my car just got towed, and I just caught it before they towed it away. And I had to pay $260 to get it off of the tow truck. And so I'm like, here's all the paperwork. I got to go to work. So I go and grab the car. I park it somewhere else, right? In front of, and so then I leave, and Anita is like looking at the paperwork. The ticket is because we had parked it from 5 feet or less from a driveway.
Oh, geez.
The ticket was for $40. They ticketed me at $8.53. They were towing me at $9.24.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. How's that?
That's the homeowner for sure. Just being like, I'm going to get these guys. They're parking in my goddamn gravel in my driveway. Right?
Not in her driveway. Not in her driveway.
No, but that's what they're saying, right?
Yeah, I guess.
That's definitely like that's definitely like some sort of NIMBY homeowners. These people are parking all over the street. I'm going to teach them a thing or two.
I got to work, and I was telling everybody, sharing the story, and one of my coworkers was like, let's just see who this person is. 51-year-old Karen is basically who it is.
How could you tell?
He's got ways. He's got ways. Well, at least that's.
You could see who could call it. Called
no,
it
was the homeowner, but it was so Anita called the city and was like, hey, because it all seemed a little weird. It was like,
yeah, that seems very like 20 minutes later it gets towed.
Yeah. So the lady on the phone was, Anita said very much kind of with the tone of, man, this is bullshit for you guys. Like, you guys kind of got screwed here, but couldn't say
really?
that. Yeah, right. She was like, yeah, that is a towable offense, being parked too close to a driveway. Typically, it's a complaint. It's a complaint from somebody with that sort of thing. It is a towable offense, and so what probably happened is they came out. She made a complaint. They came out and ticketed it, and then that person immediately got on the phone with the tow company and was like, "There's a car ticketed out here. Come tow it." That would be my guess. Yeah.
Yeah, because the police weren't like, "Come tow this." They're just like, "Well, here."
Yeah. It must have been. So,
although those tow companies, haven't there been articles about those tow companies, and that's how they make like a lot of money downtown? They just like. Yeah.
They wait for
like 3 p.m.
Yep.
And then they just sweep up every car they can. Yeah.
Real cool stuff.
Yeah.
So so that happened.
Although I have been driving home, I take our office is moving now officially, but where I drive from now, I take like Cherry Street up to I-5. And there was like a week or two ago that somebody was parked in like the lane that you're typically driving in, and somebody had it was like after 3 and they were parked in that lane.
So frustrating.
And it turned it into it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
And
because everyone thinks they can just drive in that lane, and then they get up there and they're like,
they
now we have
stuck.
We got to get over.
Even with texting coworkers after that, it was like, dude, did you get stuck in that? And they're like, yeah, that car was parked there. I was like, yeah, like we were all like complaining about the same thing. It's like sort of like. Well, yes, you're taking not taking advantage, but you're definitely like putting people in the crappies, like $400. That's not an insignificant amount of money for folks. But like also, I get when you're holding up like an hour or two worth of traffic, right? Like when people are like, I got to get home to my thing. Yeah. We're moving. Our office is moving to the Hawk's Nest. We're going to the Hawk Tower. I don't know. 13 coins.
Is that the one?
The building with like 13 coins and Embassy Suite on it? Yeah, we're moving down there, bro.
13 coins, the place I always want to when I go.
You know what? I walked down there. We had lunch the other day, and I got some sort of like Mexi. You know, they serve breakfast all day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sure.
Morning, noon, and night. Mm-hmm. And I got some sort of like Mexican kind of scramble. It was fantastic.
Well,
it was really good.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad for you. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Good for you. Yeah, Luke was always a fan of that one before it moved. For all you who don't know, 13 Coins is like, what would you call it? It's a 24-hour old school
diner,
yeah. But
with a bar,
but of like better quality. It's not like it's not like a Denny's. It's a
no.
What would you?
But it does like it is kind of unique in that like that it's the style of diner that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Like big high back booths and chairs at the bar and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a couple of locations, right? There's one in SeaTac, there's one downtown. Yeah. I think there's one in Bellevue now. There's a couple of.
I'm excited to celebrate their entire menu once we move down there. I'm gonna run a whole gauntlet.
Well,
they would have biscuits and gravy.
Go
they
for
had
it.
chicken and waffles.
Look, there was a time where I would sing the praises of the French dip there. And really knock your dick in the dirt. But the last few times we've gone, it's just been a real disappointment.
Have you been to that one?
I've been to that one, a couple of times. Yeah. But, I mean, I love a 13 Coins for exactly what you said. Places like that really don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And you look at the menu and you're thinking, oh, they got a Dungeness crab this and that. Like, well, we're in Seattle, so it's fancier. But once you get it, you're like, oh, man, it sounded way better on the menu than what it actually is.
I feel like you got to go kind of tried and true, like biscuits and gravy, some sort of Denver scramble.
Well, yeah,
like
sure, but a
chicken
French
and waffle,
dip.
like French dip, you can't really go wrong.
A French dip,
Yeah.
Give me a break. So, interesting. So you're going to be down there. That's how is it?
Yeah.
I mean, are you guys moving in right now or?
We'll move. Like, I think the office will open like January 2nd. There's weird. So like right now, and people outside of Seattle don't care about this part, but right now we're in Pioneer Square. We're like literally or near Pioneer Square, not in it. We're like, there's entire buildings that are just nothing but boards. The entire block is just boarded up. And, but this place, the new office down at Lumen Field is like a walkable distance. And there's like there's a line or like a fog or something that you cross over and you're like, things are better.
Yeah. There's quietly they've all decided that there is a border right here. And this stays on this.
I couldn't tell you exactly where it is, but there is like this like fentanyl fog that you emerge from and you're like, oh, this is pretty nice down here. There's lots of places to eat and like people are out and there's still some zombies, but not as many. And then we were walked back to the office and it was like, oh, I think we just entered the fog again. Do you feel the fog? Like it's back. Like, but you can't.
No joke.
It's a very you can't define it, an undefinable line, but it definitely exists.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's funny. I would have been very close to you, by the way. Had because we almost moved down in that area. I would have been that walking bridge away from you. That'd have been funny.
Oh, funny. I was a little skeptical at first. I was like, oh man, closer to the stadiums. But I think the city, like, because there's so many tourists and people and activity and stuff down there, I think they just have a tighter focus down at that train station and the stadiums. Like they just, I don't know, they have more cleaners or something come through. I don't know what it is. They've definitely abandoned our part of town, it feels like.
Yeah, there's obviously places in the city where it's like collectively given up on. So
yeah.
Well, wow, what a bright, sunshiny way to end this deal. So
wear your safety gear.
Wear your safety gear.
Learn anything about this thing, dude? I'm not even kidding. I'm like, I've half the time with my arm all sling and all this stuff. I've been like on my phone, like researching I'm going full like the jeans that have like armor in them and like I'm not kidding, like stuff that you wear like on a motorcycle.
Right.
I'm like, why not? Like
you're gonna be one of those assholes that I say look like they're from Mad Max or something.
It won't though, because it's like all this sort of casual clothes stuff that actually have like
protecting.
It looks like a flannel shirt, but it has like built-in elbow pads and stuff like that. Like that's the stuff I'm trying to like find, or maybe I'll just get a bunch of like skate pads and gear and stuff. But I'm definitely like. Safety gearing up.
I mean, we're old. We're brittle.
I know, man.
It's like
goddamn bones like porcelain.
Right. Shit.
Fucking Mr. Glass over here, just shatter on you.
All right, pal. Well, thank you, everybody. hopefully we've gave you some hot tips here to keep you out of the emergency room and off of a tow truck as well. Don't park.
Yeah, off a tow truck, and then if you get bored this weekend, use that non-dominant hand. Try to wipe your butt.
Yeah, give it a shot. Give it a day in court. See how. Send us an email or a voicemail about how bad your poopy thumb was. We would very much enjoy that. Would we not? I believe.
Yeah,
so.
I would.
All right, pal. Have a good one. I'll find something to play us out here. Bye.
Bye.
Bon voyage, motherfucker.